This is Jackie.
Hi, this is Diana.
And you're listening to HomeBodies Only, where we welcome all bodies to join us as we break down and dissect HBO series. And this episode, we are talking about Somebody Somewhere, Episode 3, Season 1, Episode 3, Eggshells. I wanted to start off, which I feel like I kind of knew this. Mike Hagerty, who plays her father, died last year, or died in May.
Oh, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah. There was something, I was like, did he die? And then I was looking at Jeff Hiller's, Joel's Instagram, and and then I looked up what happened, and it's like, he had an infection. No, he had an infection in his leg, went on antibiotics, had a seizure, and ended up in a coma. And they're blaming like the reaction to the antibiotics. And then he died. I know. I'm like, what? Like terrible. And he was oh gosh, no, I forgot. Well, I have it here. He was 60 something. I didn't think he was that well. He was close to 70, but I actually thought he was younger than that. Oh my God. And so he died on May, he was 67. He was almost 68. He died on May 5th, and his birthday was May 10th.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't like that.
I know. I'm sorry. So, and I guess I think they started filming like in the summer. Like, so sad. So now we know he's not on the second season. And I know.
I'm thinking about
the storyline
season is headed, and now like what? Yeah, because the mom stuff. Oh, jeez. Oh man.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to bring you down, but I just wanted to bring that up because that's a big thing.
It's important.
It's important.
Had no idea.
Oh, and I wanted to tell you, I was like, gosh, he's so familiar. He's been in a million things. He played the landlord in Friends. He played their landlord. So I guess I was like, oh yeah. And then some other stuff, but that was the big one for me. I was like, oh yeah. Okay. So, this episode starts off, the cute neighbor is getting arrested. I was like, what? Yeah. Why? That was short-lived. I was like, I thought there was going to be a story. Was he wrongfully arrested?
I know.
He was just like, hi.
She said hi to him. Selling fentanyl or something.
Fentanyl. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So Joel picks her up. She's all hopped up because she's like really into like what is going on with Rick, like really hot on this topic. And she's thinking he's selling drugs. I mean, maybe partially because of seeing her neighbor get arrested. She's questioning like the cash, and she's and by the way, they were at Trisha's house in the last episode because she mentions that. She goes, okay, at Trisha's house. So yes, you're right. Yes. And it did make sense but then it threw me off with the coop using the bathroom. So I mean, that just makes it even more gross, to be honest.
Our bathroom chat, the last episode has sparked up quite the following, I'll just say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
Viral on TikTok,
huge following. Yeah, I didn't even tease with the funniest parts. I mean, the debate. Yeah. Yeah. My friend Sean commented with this theory. Okay, I'm going to cough.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she I won't say who, but
right.
She made a comment too. She's like, yep, it's pretty much hereditary. My son, who's a teenager, is in there for
but
like at least a half hour to go to the bathroom.
But is he doing other things? Like, is he staring at himself? Is he, the ego, not ego, but
that's the thing. Like the phone in the bathroom. It's like a whole.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, just go in your room. Anyway. Okay.
Don't go in your room, like number 2.
No, I mean, don't go number 2 in your room. Okay. So they go to Freddy's Coffee, it's called. That's where Randog works. Joel doesn't pay either, I notice. Nobody pays.
No.
Nobody pays.
Nobody's paying.
Goes up, gets the coffee.
this time.
Oh. Just saying. Gets the coffee.
Like there may have been some weight in the coffee.
Well, that's good, but I still don't understand how they're not paying. Is it because they know him?
It must
But that's not really mentioned.
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, how's he making a living over there at the coffee shop? No tip, nothing.
I don't think he's the owner. Yeah, and I don't think he's the owner. Randog asks how long they've been hanging out, kind of alluding to their dating. Okay. I don't know. Anyway.
Of course, Joel drives like an Oldsmobile. Like,
oh my God.
Everybody knew somebody who drove an Oldsmobile back in high school.
But this is current day.
I know, but
that's what's even worse.
He still got the Oldsmobile. I love it.
I know. I love him so much.
Yes.
And he liked our post, just to announce to everybody, he liked our post. Not story, post. I was like, yo, dude. Yeah. Follow me, man. Follow me back.
Looking for the follow back here.
And be my friend. I just really also would like to be his friend. Oh, let me get into him. I looked him up a little more. Oh, I wanted to know about the improvising stuff. So it did come up. Okay. I guess when they were looking at the vision board and she mentioned like, oh, you got the Eiffel Tower there. That was improvised, I guess. I don't know. Excuse me. And I guess also in this episode when she starts singing about peeing in the cup, that was totally improvised. So he just went with
That's great.
It also said that he tends to play the like bitchy friend. So this role for him was actually very different, like to be nice and all that. So I thought that was funny because he plays this really well. But I could see him playing like a little bitchy person too. I don't know. Okay.
Oh man.
So she asked Joel because all of a sudden I think Rick pulls in. So she asks him to park. Right? Is that the part? Oh, she wants him to.
Yeah. Did they pull by the dumpster or something?
Yeah.
Or am I imagining that?
And no, I think they do. Is this the part where he's like, I like where she's like, come on, just park. And he's like, I like shade. Or was that when they get to the park? That's when they get to the park?
No. That was when they got to the park or
the park, right? Yeah. So something happened that, oh my God, that part was just great. Yeah. I guess I just didn't put that part because I think they park and then he just comes and I don't know if he gets coffee or something and leaves. So they're following him. Yeah. And then, oh my God, she was like, come on, just park. You know, and he's like, I don't like that spot. I mean, I would totally probably do that too. I'd be like, no, I don't like that spot, or like how I have to pull in.
Well, you know me, I park the furthest away in a parking lot and I get made fun of all the time.
Yeah. That's my dad. My dad does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this? Involved. We have talked about that. I like to
on the podcast
around nobody.
No, I mean on the podcast.
I don't know if we've talked about, maybe.
My dad growing up, because his excuse was he was a pharmacist at CVS for a very long time. And they were told, you don't park in customer parking. You park far away.
Yeah.
So he did that. That was number one. And then also like he didn't want his car to get banged up because we never had fancy cars, but still, I guess you don't want your car to be banged up.
Yeah.
So he would park far away. So we'd go to church. He'd park far away. And we're always like, Dad. And he's like, it's good exercise. He always would say that. And like my mom, we'd complain. He's like, you're always saying you want to exercise. It's good exercise. So it's just like the running joke. And he will. Yeah. Finally, now he's starting to park close because also my mom has more trouble walking. Anyway. Okay. So that was funny. So, and then there's like a chainsaw artist there, which I guess is just
just in the middle of the day on a random
middle of the day or whatever. It was a Saturday, by the way. And I was wondering what day of the week it was. I was curious. But it was like his name's Bill Baker. Right. Yeah. Because they do mention Saturday. The artist guy's name is Bill Baker, and they're like, Bill Baker, and they kept like saying his name a lot, and then they're like, his beaver is installed at town hall. And she's like, that's pretty cool. Like she's totally serious. She's like, that's pretty cool. Like it's so funny. Oh. Joel has binoculars in his car because he's a birder, which I thought was also great.
Yeah, when you become a certain age and that happens, you start to like, I feel like evolve into a birder.
I will never be a birder.
I don't.
I'm a leaf peeper though, I think, because I was peeping at the leaves today. I posted about it.
Yeah. You did.
The leaf
you did.
Ground. They're really not changing. They were changing very quickly. For those of you really interested in this topic, they were, well, for the summer, they started to change because it's been so dry, but now it like kind of halted. Yeah. Like it's kind of weird. Anyway, it's a big deal around here. Okay.
Yes.
In the east,
people come from all over.
Northeast, we got good leaf peeping. It's beautiful. Okay. So meanwhile, Trisha is in town and sees Poppy's, that's the name of the store, Poppy's window display of mannequins in raincoats. And there's even a dog. And she's like peed off. You can tell she's like, oh. So she goes and talks to Trisha. This might have happened like after another scene, but, and they're like really upset. And Charity's like, it's disarmingly adorable. Like they're very serious. Disarmingly adorable, which I thought was
disarmingly adorable.
Yeah. So now they're 40 minutes watching the chainsaw. Rick is just standing there. I like it. Like, doesn't Rick like tilt his head too? He's like, really trying to understand it. Like,
really into it.
Yeah, it's great. She's hungry, so of course he has a granola. I knew he'd have like a supply in his car of things. So, in case of getting stuck in a snowstorm, and that's when they start talking about drinking his own pee, and he's like, "Why do I have to drink anything?"
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. But he wouldn't tell her what he did, right, during the storm. He's like, "I'm not." No, she's like, "Come on, no." So, then they start to discuss like what they're going to sing at choir practice. Oh, and then Trisha and Charity decorate their window with a rainbow of pillows and some foxes. I was like, it looked like a rainbow of pillows and a diamond shape. And then I thought there were foxes. So they were very, very happy about that. So then they fall asleep in the car because they're there for so long. Sam's mom calls her about the barbecue. And that's when I wrote, I wasn't sure like what day it was, but then they talk about Saturdays and what they like to do. And she says she's not going to the barbecue or whatever. And then she's like, I like to be in my underwear drinking wine. And Joel's like, that sounds lonely. And I wrote, I think that sounds fantastic. I mean, alone in your house. I mean, underwear, whatever, like just wearing what you want. I mean, we are homebodies.
Yeah. I mean, I love a good pair of lounge pants, but
yeah, I mean,
I get chilly.
Yeah, me too. Then Joel is like, she's like, what do you do on your Saturdays? So basically he like does everything. Like he works with homeless people. He does like the church outreach thing. He does E&L or something. Yeah. Like he of course like did everything.
He's jam-packed.
Yeah. And he's saving the world.
He's a go-getter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he says, oh no, that he didn't say that about the terrors I was thinking about. Oh, he goes to the pediatric clinic. He does clowning. I wonder if that part was improvised too. Because he just kept going.
He just kept going on and on with his list of things.
Yeah. So they end up, I won't go into like, they start to follow Rick, but then they end up like losing him because of the hay tractor or whatever. Michael calls. Joel was supposed to meet up with him for lunch. And then when Joel tells him he's with Sam, Michael basically like hangs up. He's like, have fun with Sam. And he hangs up. I was like, oh, that's not good. Yeah. So she goes to then next is, she ends up going to the barbecue, to really stalk Rick. The dad is sitting and he basically never does get up until later because of his foot, which clearly he didn't go, like his foot got ran over and he didn't go to the doctor.
No.
Like, oh my God. Excuse me.
No, but that was cute when he started singing with them. That was really cute. It was sweet.
Yes, he plays the guitar because I think there was a little bit of a snotty exchange between the two of them. And he's like, oh, and he plays that song and they sing with him and then they kiss. I wrote cute. Mom's carrying that travel mug, by the way.
Yeah.
Not good. It looks like the one I have from Starbucks. It's the same shape.
Yes.
Totally is.
Like a stainless steel.
Yeah.
But not tumbler.
But it's like the same height, shape. I mean, size, height. Same height, weight,
Height, weight.
Body mass index, BMI. Then Sam is helping with Shannon's essay, and Trisha's like, oh, was a little like, oh, yeah. She's like, well, why don't, you can help with, she tells Trisha, she's like, your mom can help with the community service part. She's like, I did get into every school I applied to.
Right.
And then she sits down. I got into everywhere I applied. That's what she said. Sam goes in. Sam gets up. She says she's going to help the mom with egg salad, but she doesn't. She's stalking Rick's stuff. But also before, I wanted to say, she gets up and Trisha's like, well, right away, I don't like this. Doesn't she call it typeface or something? The font.
The font. Yeah.
But she doesn't call it font, which she said like typeface. Yeah. Of course. So she's searching through Rick's pockets and finds 2 cell phones. Now that's sketchy. Yeah. Why does he need 2 cell phones? Mm-hmm. Rick comes in. He basically like catches her kind of going through the coat. Yeah. But this part's really funny. Totally confusing conversation about being cold. And he was just like, what? You just said you were cold. No, I'm not. So she walks, she's like, excuse me, which I thought was so polite. I don't think I would speak that way to my brother-in-law. I would just be like, bye. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, bye. Or nothing. I would just walk away. So he goes into his pockets and he grabs one of the cell phones. Meanwhile, Joel's at the church. I didn't really understand the point of this scene, but Pastor Deb is like, I really could go for what did she want?
Margarita or something?
Yeah, she was like, chips and salsa and a margarita. And he's like, good for you. And then he asks, I think he's trying to get them out of there. Maybe that was the point of that. And that he was there doing real church things, but then they were going to do the choir practice, quote unquote. Right. So maybe he's trying to get her out. He's like, you guys go ahead. I'm staying here. It was kind of like
filling in the, he's making like his own like jungle juice.
And it's funny because one of the shows we watch, Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, we mentioned how there's no punch bowls anymore.
Right.
I mean, at least like at school dances, even some, not really at parties, but they have a punch bowl at choir practice.
Yeah. I like it. Well, of course they do. I mean, he drives an Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
And they have choir practice
of course
in a church. That's kind of like
church,
a mall. So.
In a mall. In a dead mall. And he was now in this part too, he was pouring like the alcohol and he was looking over weird, like over his glasses was he staring at the crucifix or was he like feeling guilty? I didn't know the point of that scene. Because if he was dumping the stuff and just looking at the stuff, but he like looked over almost like either he was checking that no one was watching him, but then I was like, is he looking at the crucifix feeling guilty?
Don't judge me.
Maybe that's what I was trying to figure out the meaning of that, but I don't know. Then we probably, go back to the barbecue and Rick gets a call, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And there's a busted heat pump because he's on call. I guess he repairs like.
It sounds like an HVAC guy.
So. Yeah. So then he leaves, and it's sketchy. And then Sam is sitting next to her mom. She starts eating the egg salad. The egg salad has eggshells in it, which hence the title of the episode, which they're on eggshells. Partially, mostly about her mom. And then there's eggshells in the egg salad. Where are we here? So her mom's like, eat around them. and the mom's like drinking a Solo cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then she's like, I hate this part. She's like, who wants s'mores? And like gets up and then just squirts like, what, propane? No.
That was lighter fluid.
Lighter fluid. Oh my God, duh.
Like charcoal fluid.
Yes. Duh. Yeah. And I had charcoal when I was a child. We had a charcoal grill. Anyway, basically like nearly blew Shannon up. I mean, it was terrible. And
that's when we see like the dad, his injury basically. Yeah.
So they go over, Shannon falls down. Then Trisha's like, Mom, what are you thinking? And she's like, and she's like, you all drink. And then like fishes. And the dad, that's when the dad gets up and he's like, it's on. I don't know if he's trying to stand up for her or something. And he's like, ow. And that's when they find out that she ran his foot over. And mom is like making excuses, says everybody always is picking on her. She goes inside. Trisha's like, I'm leaving. She's like, tells Sam it's her turn to deal with it. Sam goes to choir practice. It's very mellow in there. There's a harp playing. I didn't even know that would be allowed. There's a harp playing. Fred is psyched for Coco that she's there. He tells her that she needs to bring the energy up. So she does. She rocks. Take Another Little Piece of My Heart. I don't know if that's actually the title or not, but it's Janis Joplin is the original, I believe, for singer. I think. You know what? I don't know if
amazing. I had chills.
Oh, yeah.
But when they were talking about what songs and they mentioned like Air Supply.
I know.
I was like really kind of hoping for like.
I know. When she did that song, I was like, and then I was trying to think of the significance of it.
It's not Air Supply. But it was really good.
No, it was really good. And she rips her shirt at the end, right?
Yes.
I have a reference to that. Then after she sings, I mean, Fred can tell something's wrong, like when she first comes in, before she sings. And he's like, what does the rock say? Only can control the controllable. I like Fred. And after she sings, she is just like, she's very emotional. And she was like
definitely a release for her.
Tearing up. Yeah. And it's like she was holding it together and then she like kind of let it out. And, she's upset about her parents and her mom and everything. And she does kind of start crying. So she goes back to her parents' house and she goes to see her dad, who's, in the barn or the silo. No, it's not the silo. It's the barn. Apparently he runs a farm. It's like, that's a lot. Her shirt is not ripped, by the way. It's the same color shirt. Yeah. That was the first thing. I was like, And it's the same color. So it's not like
the same shirt or like a snafu in the filming in the
I think it's snafu in the filming. I was I kept thinking about the like third time I watched it, because I did watch this a bunch of times, only because I would try to watch it when I got a second, but I wasn't taking notes, so I had to go back. And I was like, I bet they filmed this thinking it would be before the choir practice scene.
Right.
But decided
that she
to put
would
it
go
in
there
after.
before she left for choir.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, of course, Shazy, my dog, I'm alone tonight, so I have her in here with me because she's only just a year, and I gave her a Kong with peanut butter, and now she's leaving, trying to leave. You're not leaving. Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
dear. What was I going to say? Okay. Yeah, so her shirt was not ripped. I think that was a mess up because it was the same color. If she had like a different shirt on because she went home and changed. That's all I have to say about that. So, yeah, she basically, this was such a good scene. It was so sad, but she tells her dad that, that he needs to talk to her mom and about her going to rehab. And he's like, no. And, he's like, if you girls want to talk to her. She's like, no, it has to. He's like, oh, this whole part where he's like, I've known her since I was 15. We're like a part of each other. Oh, I was dying. And he's like, I would rather cut off my arm or leg than harm her. And anyway, so she's like, you have to do it because she'll only listen to you. So his whole monologue, I cried. So I cried after she sang. I cried during this part. I always cry in the show. It's only like 28 minutes.
Show him in the window talking to her.
I know. And then she watches them argue, and she watches from the window. And I know it's so good. And now I know he's not alive anymore. Like,
I know that makes it even worse.
I know. So then Journey is playing. Making love out of nothing at all. Making love. And they zoom in on.
That's not Journey.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was Journey. Making love out of nothing.
Air Supply.
I'm sorry. Air Supply. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I meant Air Supply.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you. The two of them, the two bands, I do mix them up, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean.
I'm going to be killed by, big
Journey
fans.
has like, a very distinct lead singer's voice.
I know.
Okay.
Oh.
Hold on. more importantly, during the barbecue, did you hear Tanya Tucker in the background? Because I was jamming, and then I had to rewind it and go, that's Tanya.
No, you know what, though? I did hear it. I didn't know it was her. Yeah, but we did see her in concert.
I know, you wouldn't know.
I apologize to everybody for mixing up Air Supply and Journey.
Yeah, come on.
It's just I get the 80s names in my head. Anyway, but Tanya Tucker.
Tanya Tucker.
You're the fan. I just happened to be the connection to get you the tickets to the concert.
So good.
We saw her at Levon Helm's studio, the Midnight Ramble, if you want to call it that, in Woodstock.
Literally before
the week before. Yeah.
March, whatever, 2020.
It was like March 7th or something, 2020.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it was really good. And they were supposed to go on tour in Europe, but they did not. Yeah. So, sorry. So Air Supply's playing. We zoom in on. Sorry, I know they sound different, but there's something with these 80s bands. I don't know what my problem is. Okay, zoom in on Trisha's store, and there were two penises spray painted, or peenies, as I discovered when we were watching Euphoria, the plural form of that word. I just scratched my microphone. Two penises embracing. On Trisha's storefront. It kind of went with the song, though, nicely.
I did.
That's all I got.
Good segue.
This is our shortest episode yet.
Yeah, great. I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm pumped for episode 4. I want to watch that stat.
Yes, like I really might watch it after. I know. I'm sorry. But maybe I shouldn't have shared it. But I would have felt dumb, like talking about like the show and been like, yeah, he's not alive.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thanks.
I did get a plethora of emails saying they'd love to be guests on this show, but I had to turn them all down. I'm joking.
It's hard to choose. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So
the whole application process.
Yeah. It's big time.
Select committee.
And you won't be able to directly talk to us because we don't have time for that. We have a system. We have a team behind our email account. I'm getting hot now.
Process. So.
Hi. Yeah. But do us a favor if you go on. I don't know how, to be honest, how Spotify works. It seems really weird with the ratings. I feel like you rate it for yourself. It's like really weird. So, but rate it for yourself if you'd like. But if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us, my dog is going in my bathroom. Don't want her to do that. She goes in the garbage.
We better wrap this up. And then
yes. Go on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Oh, she's back. Please give us 5 stars. If you want to write a review, that'd be wonderful. And it doesn't take long to click the 5 star. Like if you're listening anyway, just go click. Beep. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, and you could write, love it.
Love the show.
The show. And show suggestions. I mean, we're definitely doing the sex lives of college girls, but I don't know if you got some suggestions. Yeah. All right. And our email is HomeBodiesOnly@gmail.com. We are also on YouTube. I actually changed the name to Homebodies Only Podcast because I kind of wanted podcast in there. We have a website, HomeBodiesOnly.com.
You can't escape us.
No, we're on TikTok.
So again,
and share us. Share us with your friends if you like us.
Yeah, like our TikToks, share them.
And share the podcast. All right.
We have a vision board going, people. Come on, help us out.
I don't know. One of us does.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.